So you want to put a Tremor skid plate on your regular F-150. Well, you're in luck because I've done it. So today I'm going to talk to you about what it takes, what struggles you're going to go through, and how to get it done. So to start out with the specs, this is a 2023 F-150 STX XL. The wheels are 18/9 with a -12 offset, and I am running a 295/70/18 Mickey Thompson Baja AT. They have a little bit of poke, so as you can see, stick out just a smidge. So I am running a 2-inch level, in case you haven't watched my other videos. So I'm going to tell you what it takes so that you're not rubbing and what all is involved with this install. So for starters, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it because there's multiple videos already on YouTube of how to go about taking apart this front end, but to make it very, very easy, you're going to take off your grill, you're going to take this plastic piece off here, and then you're going to take your bumper off. Well, actually plastic piece, grill, then bumper. But that makes it really easy. I did all this in my garage on the floor, no lift, and I had to get on the floor for one part of it, and that was actually bolting up the skid plate itself. So once you have all of that removed, you're going to go to the back side of your bumper, and you are actually going to pull the brackets that hold the fog lights in place. That will allow you to get to all of the screws. There's probably about 15 screws and rivet, like pop, plugs or whatever, that hold the lower plastic valance that used to go right along here, that stuck down like that far, that held that in place. So that is the hardest part of this, is removing that, because there are 2 bolts to get to that are roughly right around in here that are kind of a pain in the rear to get to, but you can get to them. You just got to have a little bit of finesse and a swivel for your socket. So once you remove that lower valance, you're basically done. After that, it's just putting everything back together. So it does come with these right here, these little plastic wings that kind of fill those holes, but are still flush to the bumper. So you'll be installing those. This piece here comes in the kit. That is actually gray. I went ahead and painted it to color match. You can go to your local Advanced Auto Parts, and Duplicolor sells Ignite Silver, and I picked up a bottle of primer, the Ignite Silver, and a clear, and I did this in a couple of hours, just taking my time, making sure I got a lot of coats on it and a lot of clear on it. That way, hopefully I don't get ate up with rock chips. So piecing it all back together is pretty simple. Once you remove it all, then you put it back together basically the same way you took it apart, except instead of the plastic piece that you did have here where the silver piece is, you put the silver piece on. It does come with an extra plastic piece in the kit that is used to mount the lower valance back on. Not sure why it would come with that, because you buy the kit to put the skid plate on, but I guess in case you change your mind, not really certain. But I didn't use that piece, so I just wanted to make you know that there is an extra piece in there. My kit did come with all of the hardware. There is another gentleman that has a video on YouTube that his did not come with the hardware, so just be certain you double check before you start taking things apart to make sure you have all of the hardware. So putting it back together, all of this stuff is going to go back on just as you took it apart. The skid plate itself is the only new mounting that you're going to be doing. There are 2 15mm bolts underneath that you will hook them two in the back, right back here. Right there. So that bolt there, and then that bolt there, those are 15 millimeters. Those are already in place. And then the big part, if I can get in here. So the big part is those new brackets right there that you see. So that black bracket, an issue that people have had is that these trucks come with, there's like 2 different variations in the frame. I know that some people have had to drill out because that bracket doesn't line up with the holes. I can speak that the 2023 STX XL, it matched up perfectly fine. I didn't have to drill out anything. It worked. It comes with clips basically that the bolts thread into, that clip in on the frame, and the hole's already there. It was super straightforward, bolted right up, no questions. So it bolts to those 2 bolts in the back that I was telling you about, the 15 millimeter, and then you bolt the brackets on each side to the frame, and then there's 2 holes on those brackets on each side that the skid plate mounts to. Now again, as I said before, I'm running a 295 7018 with a -12 offset. So these trucks, you know, you can get away with a 295 if you're running a 0 offset. Me running a negative offset, I was having rubbing, as I'm sure some of you are experiencing. So this is what I did to remove rubbing. I now have full lock, no rubbing, full capabilities of this truck, which is exactly what I wanted. I do not want to rub. I want to be able to go and do anything and not have to deal with any clearance issues at all. So I'll start in the front. Basically, this right here used to have a tab. I'm sure if you look at your truck, you'll see that it comes off of here and comes out and then down and comes back. I basically cut off like that 1 inch by 1 inch little square corner here. I cut it off and then I shaved it. I sanded it and shaved it down, so you can't even tell that it's been cut. It's smooth, there's nothing there, and it literally looks OEM. I love it. I think it turned out great. On the driver's side, I did not have to cut the liner. That sits back just fine. On the passenger side, for some reason, the liner does not like sit back like that one. So I did just cut that just straight across. And then of course I did cut the crash bars, which you will have to do, which isn't hard though. So I did the same thing on this side. As you can see here, you know, beautiful edge, nice sweep, identical to the driver's side. You can't even tell it's been cut. Now on the back side of the wheel well, I did leave the crash bars. I do not rub on them at all, but I did shave this down right here. So that is a plastic piece. I shaved that down with the same sander as I did for this piece here. And it does not rub at all. I also removed, there's a little plastic piece that would go here. You can tell from the dirt from where it used to be right here. I removed that plastic piece and I actually left this nut off because that plastic piece took up probably like 1/4 to 1/2 inch of clearance back here. And then even when I put the nut or the bolt back in, it still protruded a little bit. So I just removed it. I mean, that's not going anywhere, so I'm not really concerned, but it just gave me more clearance right here, because then now the tire probably misses it by that much, but with that head, with the, you know, bolt right here, it was a little bit closer, and I just wanted to make sure that I have full clearance and no issues if I hit a bump when turning or anything like that. So that is really it. That's all I did. You know, you remove the front, remove the bumper, remove that valance, which is the biggest pain in the rear. I sliced my thumb up pretty decently. So wear gloves just so you don't end up like me. Reattaching all of this, it went back together so easy. I bought all of the kit from Summit Racing. It was roughly $500 for the entire kit. Mine was on back order, of course, so it did take about a month. But the kit came with everything. It came with these little winglets here on each side that just flush up to fill those holes. It came with this silver piece, again, unpainted, but it replaced the other piece that was there. It came with these pieces here. The stock ones have like slits in them or whatever. It came with these pieces, and it came with the skid plate and all of the hardware. All in all, the kit mounted up beautifully. That's why I love working with OEM parts. So I definitely recommend it if you are looking just for a skid plate, whether it's for the looks or for the actual, use and purpose of a skid plate. Definitely check out this one. $500 for a full OEM kit that bolts right up, no issues, is a steal, 100%. I did go to Ford and just have them price it out to see what it would cost, and they quoted me $1,700 for the whole Tremor kit setup, which is exactly what this is. So $500, couldn't pass it up. And again, I'm able to obtain some poke, and now I do not rub at all. Before I was rubbing on the lower valence that was here. So instead of, having the cut or cutting it all the way across like I see a lot of people do, it's definitely worth it to just take the time and do this. So now you get, the functionality of a skid plate, and it looks good. And I think the silver kind of adds a little bit of pop to the carbonized gray on this truck. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out here. Please, if you guys have any questions regarding anything on this truck, feel free to comment, leave a like, subscribe. I do need to do the review on my ditch lights here. All I can say is they are still working great. I love them. Best $100 I ever spent. But till next time, I will see y'all then.